one that he wants to tell, and there's a storm brewing. It's just this way at the Dim Carnival.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dim Carnival. I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And this week we're talking about none other than the Weed album. We're talking about Violent J's first ever single release, solo release, which is Wizard of the Hood, which is, I guess, technically an EP. They call it an EP. It's definitely as long as a full-length album. It's 34 minutes long. It's 9 tracks of a complete concept album and then 2 bonus tracks. So the crux of the album is that it's Wizard of Oz but weed. And this is of course completely separate from Wizard of the Hood, the psychopathic what am I saying? Dark Carnival Carnage?
Carnival Carnage, yeah.
That. Carnival of Carnage.
It was on
track.
Dog Beats too.
That was on Dog Beats. It was on both.
Dropping motherfuckers all the way from Delaware.
So completely different. Also, I wanted to. So we had said last week that we were going to talk about the first 4 tracks, but we thought we were just going to talk about the whole album real quick. So, strap in. We got it. We got this. Steve and I had been familiar with this album, and we like this album extremely a lot. It's possible that there's no single track I've listened to from ICP more than The Wizard's Palace. But it is a very, very strong concept album. And I wanted to know, because I told you guys about this, did you guys happen to go watch the complete performance of this album from a past Gathering of the Juggalos?
No.
I watched about half of it, and I desperately want to go back and finish it. It was so awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. They're
so
set up on a stage with like a set, and they do like set changes, and everyone comes out, wraps their parts, and they got a projection screen doing stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
He comes out in that car in the beginning. Yes. I love like how he does a tumble, like flips onto his back when the house lands. From the first song, when the house lands, and he just flips and lands on his back, or kind of tumbles, not flips. Kind of like if he got hip tossed, and the crowd goes crazy. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, it's very good. But why don't we just dive in? The intro. So what I think is interesting about this concept album, as opposed to, because every Joker's card's basically a concept album. In theory, all of everything ICP does is a concept album. So, what I find interesting about this concept album is the intro, rather than being like, it was a dark storm brewing on the edge of Violent J's neighborhood. Like, that would be like your traditional one. This one's like, oh, I'm gonna get high as fuck and tell a story.
Yeah.
And the setup is like, this isn't real. It's just like, here's a fun little joke that we're gonna do.
Which was apparently, well, I don't know, they were listening to Blam while he's getting high. So I don't know.
Smoker's record.
I guess. Well, wait, Blam, are all these fools on that track, Blam? He's listening to all his homies on a rap track, smokes a bunch of weed. He's like, because that's what, right? That's what the Wizard of Oz is, right? It's like a drug trip for this girl. She sees all of her friends and family.
I mean, everyone's on Shangri-La, so yeah. I do want to point out that this album. So this was like the year or two after Violent J started smoking weed, and so he got so excited about it that he had to put out this whole album. It was like, you guys ever just like smoke weed? And I do want to point out that this was released in a collector's edition tin at a certain point, and it had 2 different bonus tracks than the ones that are commonly seen on the original release and on Spotify. And it also came with a package of Violent Joint rolling paper.
Right. Amazing.
Violent Joint is pretty funny because Violent J is already a weed term.
Right, you don't need to.
And just thinking about a violent joint is not like something that you want to really think about.
It bit my lip.
I mean, you can hear the joy in Violent J. This is Violent J shit, right? Like, it's the theatrics are cranked up to 11. Every song is part of this intricate story. It's incredibly impeccably laid out. So the pacing of the story as it progresses, it's like the length of a film, you know, or whatever, a TV show, I guess, of going through this whole story. And you can even see it in his face in the drawing on the album cover. Like, he's so fucking happy with this joint in his hand, and he's got the yellow brick alleyway, yellow brick road behind him, going off to Oz. It's stellar.
Yeah.
So the intro, and then we're going to tell a story, and then Let It Rain, which is, of course, Dorothy in Kansas before the cyclone takes her away.
I like the darkness. It's about to heli blow. Tornado sirens. Let it rain. Wicked shit.
It's boring, man. I'm smoking a blunt. It's pouring rain. The hood soaking it up, but it's getting kind of windy and the walls are shaking. Fucking roofs.
In this case, Violent J hanging out at home, getting high as fuck.
Well, driving around in his Ringmaster Gold Super Sport.
Right, there is that.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting down in his crack house, earning his pay.
And it does have, so this one, I picture him, yeah, it's like a really drab environment, right? Even though he is kind of styling, like he's a drug dealer, a gangster or something, I don't know, he's got some nice stuff. It still feels like very down and drab, and this is the world that he exists in, the world we're about to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that they kind of set it up nicely that way of like, it's not exciting here, but what's to come, like when you get to the next track, you're like, oh shit, this is very different.
Also get a gay slur in here, so there's that.
Yeah, there's an R word later down the road too.
Yeah, and we also get we got a couple gay slurs in here, and we understand that Violent J enjoys playing Mega Man 4.
I don't know if I ever got up to that one.
This is very surprising. I wouldn't imagine. I don't know why, but I wouldn't imagine that the game that Violent J is into is Mega Man 4. Like, just if you were to ask me, I wouldn't imagine that.
Picture maybe like a NBA Jam.
I mean, Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, maybe like an old school, you know, like a Space Invaders.
I was thinking like Castlevania.
I was thinking like, Contra. Probably likes Contra.
Oh, Contra's a good one. Everybody likes Contra.
Because it sucks. It's very hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. I was about to say.
Everyone likes dying immediately when you start a video game.
Yeah, gotta get those 30 lives, man.
Dude, Contra's crazy when you gotta go like forward, like into the screen as opposed to side.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when this perspective changes.
Yeah.
Like that, man.
Some next level stuff. After Let It Rain. Oh wait, sorry. Do we have anything else?
Yeah. Speaking of perspective changes.
Yeah. Are we done talking about Let It Rain? Because it's just the setup.
Right. Yeah.
So just like every good Joker's card, it's got an intro, it's got a song that sets up the album, and then it's got the album. So he gets swept away by the storm, and then he winds up in the yellow brick alleyway.
I'm alive, man, but don't know where the fuck I am. Damn, I don't understand fantasy land. I'm looking out my kitchen window, but I don't see the sedan. I'm blocks and damn, it's not the land I got. The gotcha rock for 20 spot. I think we out of Michigan. The wind it must have put me father seeing purple.
Yeah, he's in the Munchkin Village. His house landed on a woman that these small folks apparently did not care for.
The small folks, all portrayed by Lake Simon and Violent J.
I was curious about that because I can hear in some of the voices, to me it sounds like Violent J, but I couldn't pick out which ones I thought were Lake Diamond.
Well, the other ones. The ones that aren't Violent J.
Right.
I also like in the lyrics on Genius, after he lands, when he says, I said what's up and a party began, and then it says, in parentheses, Munchkin's wild and out.
It's got that Munchkin vibe. The music is great. So it's this very like plunky and there's like a womp 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 sousaphone or tuba or something in the background. Really fun, yeah. And I really like that juxtaposition of he's just killed a person, you know, but they're very happy about it, and they're very you know, just exuberant in expressing how much they dislike this woman that he just killed. And then they let him know, like, well, there, you know, he needs help, right? Like, he's like, oh shit, I need to get back home. And they're like, oh, we know a ninja that's hooked up to the gills. Like, he's got everything you need. But that's basically all that they say. You know, it's like, well, there's a guy over there that's got everything.
Yeah, I like that Violent J reacts to being in Oz like just your average ass normal person who's high as Elwood. Cause he's like, after like the house lands on her, he says, oh, look, there go her feet, huh? Sick.
Well, also the first thing he worries about is probation. He's like, "Oh damn, I've got to call my my probation officer."
Right.
Can't believe it. I love how when he realizes they're happy, he starts saying, "Oh, I was running around the house trying to aim it and shit." That's so stupid.
And also his emergency needs are a sack of 17 roaches and an O of regular weed. Regulo
weed. They mentioned a couple different kinds of weed on this record.
Also, purple trees and yellow clouds talking to each other.
Yeah.
Like a merry melodies.
Yeah, exactly.
So I also like that the Munchkins are all like very aggressive. Like, they're like, oh, take your ass down the yellow brick road, motherfucker.
Yeah. Take your ass down the yellow brick alleyway. Love it.
All right, shall we move forward?
Yeah, man. Is he going to be able to make it there on his own?
I don't know, but maybe, I mean, it never hurts to have some homies to smoke with.
Knock up on this thing with no fucking games. I just want somebody to smoke with. Who said that? Well, I said that. Look at this shit. I'm talking to a scarecrow stuck on a stick, asking me for a hit right quick. Shit, all I got is Bobby Brown. I can't front.
Because as he embarks down the yellow brick alleyway, he encounters the scarecrow. And the scarecrow is Monoxide Child. And it's funny because, like, after not listening to the album for several years, I remembered the Scarecrow being Madrox and not Monoxide. But it is, in fact, Monoxide. So he gives does a little puff pass with the Scarecrow, and then they talk about how good it is to have some homies to smoke with, and that's all the Scarecrow wants. He wants some homies to smoke with, so Jay says, well, I'm going to see this guy, and maybe he can help you out with that. And the irony, of course, being that they're already doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the Wizard of Oz is nothing if not a story of ironies.
Yeah, what a disappointment, but we'll get there. Yeah, he's like, I love, Monoxide is a incredible rapper. And he, as we've said many times, I feel like he does such an excellent job. Actually, they all do a pretty great job, but he, I think, stands a little bit taller of being able to incorporate the narrative or the story of the Wizard of Oz into his raps. Like, it shows his lyrical abilities. And it really strongly comes across in this track because he gets a lot of attention.
So with at the risk of jumping ahead a bit here, I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel that the individuals fit in with the mythology? Because Monoxide plays the Scarecrow, Madrox plays the Tin Man, and then Blaze, you did homie, is the Cowardly Lion. How do you guys feel that matches up? Because
it's all backwards. It's all wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single one is wrong.
Okay, good. Because Blaze is definitely the Tin Man.
Oh, I think of Blaze as being the Scarecrow.
Because he's dead?
I don't know. Jamie,
Well, like,
okay, Jamie's the lion.
Quality-wise, yeah, Jamie's the lion. Like,
Okay.
that's just indisputable.
Right, Jamie's the lion. I feel like Monoxide then is the Tin Man, and Blaze is Scarecrow.
What do you think there, Steve?
I have never questioned it, so I am kind of shocked that you guys are saying that, to be honest. I'm like, no, the way it is how it's supposed to be, and why would you think that they did it wrong? like Jamie's always going to be the Tin Man to me, and Mono's always going to be Scarecrow. I don't know. I was just thinking more of the Cowardly Lion, how it's different in this veil of the Dark Carnival, where he's actually not a coward at all. He's very mean. He just wants to get laid.
Right.
And and the Tin Man wants to have a heart and be nice, and Jamie, his Tin Man, he just wants a gun so he can rob people.
Right. Maybe I'll rob the Wiz.
Maybe.
That's like, oh, here's the thing you want. Here's a gun. He's like, stick him up.
Yeah, stick him up.
Another thing I just realized, so I was thinking about, like, in the actual Wizard of Oz, so like I said, it's a story of ironies. So like in the actual Wizard of Oz, when they get to the wizard, he like just gives them like little like tchotchkes and shit. And he's like, oh, the real treasure's the friends you made along the way and shit. Like he's like, oh, Tin Man, here's a little heart for you, but like you showed your heart when you helped these people out. And he's like, oh, Cowardly Lion, here's a medal for your courage that you displayed in getting here. You had the courage all along. And then the Scarecrow, he gives him a diploma, which is basically just the episode of It's Always Sunny where Frank has a certificate that says he doesn't have donkey brains. It's like the exact same. It's so condescending.
Yeah. I feel like they kind of got hosed.
Yeah.
Nah, it's a story of personal growth.
Oh, piss off.
So you say
you guys.
So Brian, you're saying the Wizard of the Hood does a more exceptional job of giving them what they need.
I can't remember what happens at the end of that. They get shot.
Wizard of the Hood?
Yeah, I don't remember what happens at the end of that song.
No, I'm talking about this album that we're talking about.
Oh. I thought, sorry.
Leave that in.
No, it's the same thing. They all get hosed at the end. Ends up they're not getting shit. He's like, okay. I'm not going to give you a gun because you're already made out of metal. I was like, that doesn't fucking help me rob people. I need a weapon.
All right. So how do you guys feel about Homies to Smoke With? You like it?
Oh, I loved wow, coming all the way back around.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great, Monoxide Child is a great rapper, but he's not a great singer. And, but I love hearing his crew. I don't know. There's something about it. It gets me.
It's true. I feel like this is a very strong song.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of like the three strongest songs on the album.
I mean, like the jump in tone from Let It Rain to Yellow Brick Alleyway to this. It's all over the map, and I couldn't imagine that these tones would go together if it wasn't part of this story,
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so there's each of these really defined dynamic scenes that are very intense, and most of the tracks are only about 3 minutes. And so yeah, they just do a really, really great job. Loved it.
And you love it as well, Steve.
Oh, absolutely. There's little things that they do throughout it that I think is fun. How they not only do they call back to who they are as characters in the Dark Carnival world, but like in this song, he just straight up calls him Paul. Jay's calling him Paul. I mean Scarecrow, and I like that. Later on he'll be like, "Is that ABK?" and different stuff. I think that's,
and again, that lends to like the concept of this concept album is like, you're not supposed to be in it. We're just playing characters. We're putting on a show for you.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Like it lends to a very, very unique tone and a very unique sort of feeling that they're all exhibiting, where it's like, we're not even going to take ourselves seriously by Psychopathic Records standards,
Yeah.
Like we're just getting up in front of the TV and putting on a show,
Yeah.
to entertain our parents. So speaking of tonal shifts, the next song is Thug Whilin.
Fear
I'm made out of metal and aluminum foil. They call me Tim Tizzy. I drink 40s of motor oil. Which one of y'all holding? You got weed and all the folks around here smoke stems and seeds, and I need a little bit of that shit you got. Keep looking.
Where Jamie Madrox shows up, and he's the Tin Man. He's trying to rob everybody.
He's very aggressive.
Very aggressive. You ain't safe, ain't no one safe.
Yeah, so we go from this like chill, loungy kind of spacey vibe to it's dangerous out here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Need to have a gun to take care of myself. They mention Bammer weed in this, and I'm curious, are you guys familiar with this, or do you have an association with this term?
I mean, I don't.
You don't either. So I had only ever heard this term Bammer weed from an RBL Posse song. RBL Posse was a San Francisco gangster rap group. I think they're from Hunters Point in the 90s, maybe the late 90s. And they had a song called, I think it's called Bammer Weed. Don't give me no Bammer weed. We don't smoke that shit in the SFC. And so I Googled it, and I don't think that there's any other reference. I mean, you can see it on like, what's that website?
Genius?
Urban Dictionary. Yeah, so it's up on Urban Dictionary, but Urban Dictionary basically doesn't say where it originates, just says that it's like bad weed. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. I'm curious if anybody that's listening knows whether, because we are all from California and we all lived in the Bay Area, and so it's really hard for me to know. Like, I know a lot of people that know RBL Posse and that song, you know, but I don't know if it's just because I lived in that area. Tremendous
content here, as if you go to the Genius page for Don't Give Me No Bammer Weed by RBL Posse, the general description is a classic song from RBI's debut album, A Lesson to Be Learned, released in 1992. The song is about how Bammer weed is not the primary choice to smoke, and their THEIR is much better choices, such as Dank.
Yeah, you gotta get that dank, that endo.
But then when you click on the first lyric, which is Don't Give Me No Bammer Weed, it says, low quality marijuana. SF and Bay Area, with its politically tolerant culture towards marijuana, large community of connoisseurs / enthusiasts, and proximity to Mendocino County, or Mendocino County, as they say, result in some of the best quality marijuana consumption. Quote, bad weed is not tolerated, let alone consumed.
All you guys do is smoke seeds and stems.
I will not tolerate this bad weed. This aggression will not stand.
Also, damn that Bammer ain't no good from that song. Is the annotation is a basic common pothead myth is that Bammer is known to give you headaches. While there is no scientific evidence to prove this, the University of Oaksterdam will agree that Bammer is bad. And then someone corrected him 2 years ago. Don Juan gave 2 asterisks and says, Oaksterdam College, actually. They aren't a part of the California Accreditation of Universities.
Those accreditations are really important to potheads.
The next line is, of course, you might as well smoke some rolled up wood.
Right.
And the annotation is, even wood is better than smoking Bammer. Just know they're not playing around when they say that, and they're dead serious.
Yeah, man. Okay. You guys gotta go listen to RBL Posse. It's a great track.
Okay.
Classic, as they say. Classic. Pardon me.
Honk. And they don't smoke that shit in the SFC. SFC is an abbreviation for Sucker Free City, a popular nickname for San Francisco. Of course, Steve, you can vouch that that's a popular nickname.
Oh my God, yeah, that's all we call it.
Tattoo across your neck.
I mean, I've had to tell people to leave because they would suck us.
Yeah.
You don't belong here. This is sucker free.
Pardon me, sir.
Pardon me, sir.
We're trying to keep the city sucker free.
Well, in Hunters Point, they're suckers free. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be a sucker in Hunters Point.
No, you don't.
I'll say. All right.
Yes, I like how he says, "Don't turn around smiling." when he's when he's sticking them up. I love that.
Because they're high as hell, just walking around. Like,
he's like, don't look back smiling. And he's all, damn it, even in Oz, they're thug violence.
All right, so the next track is Horribly Horrfying, which brings us the lion.
Hit a boy, the king of the jungle. It's me, not Tarzan, son. Go, I'm the lion. You're stepping on my turf, and one of your dying tonight, and that's what's up. That's what's up. It's your lucky day. You think I'm here to play your sword, or do not understand? You had to cross it anyway.
Lion Man. They're getting close to the woods. They go into the woods, and then it's very scary, dark, and eerie. And they get scared, and then a leaf crunches, and they jump. They almost piss their pants. And then Pleasure Dead Homie pops up, and he's like, "Well, I'm here to scare you. Listen to me." Oh.
Yeah, man, they're experiencing some paranoia from this bad weed that they were smoking in the last track. And I just like, so I've really appreciated up to this point in the record the tone and the different sort of environments that they're creating. But this is the first one where I not only was impressed but actually liked it, like the tone, the paranoia, scariness of it. I just thought was super cool. Yeah. Apparently on Who Sampled, it says that there's a sample of Somebody's Watching Me, but I didn't hear any part of that song apart from the lyric that Violent J says.
Yeah, I think that's the accreditation that they have to give, because there's an interpolation of Somebody's Watching Me.
Yeah. So you have to give a credit, if like even just saying that part of it.
Yeah, that's how copyrights work. Well, because he sings the melody.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
He sings the title of the song that's very famous.
Right. I guess like I could understand that you would need to like notate that, but I don't think of it as a sample. It's just a weird.
Well, on Genius it correctly says interpolates.
Oh, I didn't look at that part, Bill.
There you go.
Are these bongo drums that are going through? I wrote bongos. And there's like a lion roar that's going around in the background. Also, there's been so many, I feel like I mentioned a million times about like the chunky guitar tracks and all of the rock and roll. Like we just did a whole album of rock and roll. But I feel like this is back to their more reserved use of that instrument. Like it's definitely there, but it's not up front. It's in the background. And I feel like that is a nice, comforting sound, I guess.
And this is, of course, another album that's entirely produced by Mike P. and Violent J. And a couple weeks ago, we talked about ABK's album, which you gave immense shout-outs to Mike P. So your thoughts on overall the production of this album?
Yeah, so good. So good. It's like an opera or whatever. Like, it's just incredible. A real feat, I feel like.
I like that every combination of, this core group of psychopathic artists has like a different group, because like Jamie and Monoxide, when you get them together, they're twisted, and then when you sprinkle in, sorry, Jamie and Monoxide. It's what I said.
Yeah, that dude from Twisted.
Yeah. Oh shit. So you got Twisted, and then when you sprinkle in a little taste of Blazer Dead Homie, you get Triple Threat. And then when Blazer Dead Homie tag teams with ABK, they get the Station of Drive-By. But then when all of them are together, then that's Dark Lotus.
Yeah.
And also Shaggy Judo exists.
Very cool.
Yeah. But I like that, like, everyone at some point has paired up for some sort of side project or something.
These guys are busy, man. They work hard.
Yeah. They've got shit else to do. I mean, I'm not saying they don't work hard. I'm just saying, like, this is their job.
Right.
All right. So they get through the scary forest, and of course, the Cowardly Lion joins up with them, and, they're happy they made it out alive, and then they get into the poppy field, in this case, which is the mushroom field.
What you thinking about? Caddy, sitting on triple gold day. Sun shining on them and they sparkle up the pavement. People run to catch a glimpse and show respect. Now I'm the king, ruler over everything. just some weed to smoke. I gotta have a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all get the highest they've been yet in the album, and they get high as hell off these mushrooms, and they all just sort of lay around and be like, "What are you thinking about, man?" And this is the longest track on the album, I believe. Yes, no, Horribly Horrifying was. So they just lay around for a while, and they just are high together and talk about like, "Hey, what are you thinking about? What does that cloud look like?" That's good. I like this track.
Cigarettes, menthol only.
Yes. Monoxide. So Monoxide, at this point, well, though, he's still a smoker. I don't know. He recently quit smoking, right?
I don't know.
I remember hearing about that. And it seems like, I don't know if this is uncouth to say, but I didn't mention it. Was it on? Oh no, wait. It's on Green Book. He mentioned
Nicotine?
No, on Fat Kids. He said, or whatever. What's the name of that track? He says that Monoxide used to be fat too.
Oh yeah.
And I don't mean this in any disrespect, but Jamie Madrox has lost a fair amount of weight since I remember seeing him a decade or so ago. And Monoxide, apparently, I'm guessing from quitting smoking, has kind of put on a few pounds. And so they're basically the same now. Like, they're the same size and shape.
Wild.
But I know Monoxide Child was a big fan of the menthol cigarettes.
My favorite part of this song is when they ask Jay what he's thinking about, and he says, "Liz, you dead, homie." And they say, "Who you dead, who?"
Who you dead, who?
Who you dead, who?
Yeah, and then he mocks them.
I hate to say that I like when he's like titties. They come in all shapes and sizes, and then he says that there was one on the back, so you can suck on it when you're hitting the doggies. It's just stupid. Oh, good lord.
Titties.
Jamie Madrox gives a shout out to Mego Toys, which is that's kind of I feel like that's kind of a deep cut. To
Especially
dedicate that much of his album, to his Mego doll collection.
I also love how he talks about watching wrestling pay-per-views and getting fat, eating pizza, flying past the jobbers.
Collecting skin.
Blaze mentions triple gold Dayton's, and like that's like an iconographic symbol of status.
For sure. This is very gold. You can't get more gold than that.
Right. There's no other surface to make gold.
The wheel. The tire. The
tire. Gold tires.
So, shall we move on to the next track, or is there more that we need to cover here?
Nah, man, what's next?
Because it bleeds into Shiny Diamonds.
And I be climbing, homies rhyming, heaven I'm in. People can do their thing, and mine is singing. I'm singing like Eddie Vedder, only better. I said I'm singing.
Because they're asking what they're thinking about, and then they think about, man, how cool is it that we're here? And then they give Shiny Diamonds, they talk about their shiny diamonds, how cool life can be sometimes. Like, man, some days suck, but some days are shiny diamonds, and people can do their thing. And Jay's thing is singing.
Like Eddie Vedder.
I'm fucking singing.
I'm fucking singing.
Guys, do you feel like he recognized that he had to go through this process with the Zug Island record, but then he was like, you know what? No, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna do it.
This is I always think of this song from this era, because they refer this as the Shiny Diamonds era, and it's like this song is so iconic to me for like this era, and it's not even on an ICP album. It's just like to me, like, maybe the apex of this song is like, and making cheddar somehow and smoking shredder somehow. Wow. Like Axl Rose and them when he was slashing them.
Like Michael Jackson without the little boys or the plastic nose. And we know that he loves Michael Jackson, and again he throws it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Jay does some fantastic flows in this too. When he's like talking about playing packed clubs and just like, I love that whole verse. Because I mean, it is just a straight, like, at least this verse is just a straight ICP song right there, where he's just like talking about being Violent J and ICP, and it like kind of takes it out of the element, or why he wants to go home, or why things are shiny diamonds. And I love the way he raps that part. I always love that stuff. Tell me why do stress be LIE, FE, and it's just great. I felt for the longest time that this was actually my favorite song off this album.
Yeah, this would be my favorite song off the album if it weren't for The Wizard's Palace.
I know, because the next song is so great.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I kind of just, for me, these three songs, What You Thinking About, Shiny Diamonds and Wizard's Palace, are one song to me. They flow, and it's like the first half of the album is like building the story up, and then now we're on the roller coaster fun ride down that just leads to yay,
Definitely.
And goddamn, it's just brilliant the way they do it.
I do want to quickly just mention, there's been some stuff that's come up recently with Violent J's Against All Odds adoration of Michael Jackson, and that's something that we'll definitely discuss in the future, but we don't want to bring the conversation down that hard on this album, so we will touch on it soon, but not right now.
Right now it's this like happy fun acoustic guitar shit. This sounds like a Sugar Ray song to me.
Huh.
I'm just kidding. That's not there.
Guys, dick sucked from the back?
Yeah. I was curious about that one.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Oh, okay. Enlighten us, Steve.
You can Google it, because
No.
It's
my work computer.
I know.
I'm kidding. It's not.
Well, I'm not going to explain it.
No, Steve, you must enlighten us.
Yeah, tell us.
Wait, does it mean
like if are you on your
from
hands
the
and
back?
knees?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like from my understanding is, and how I've always just like the awful mental picture that comes to my head when I hear that lyric, but still enjoy the song very much, is you're on your hands and knees, and someone taking
back.
someone's
aim
taking
it down.
Your dingling, and they're pulling it backwards, and they're just like some people, some men, and you could build that up where you can like really, like gender bending, like you putting it between, like if you're wearing a gender bender contraption thing, like it's like that. So you're just they're pulling it
They have a
backwards.
device.
We have a device. So like you put it in back like it's a dog's tail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking like from the up through the butthole.
Oh. What? Ow.
I know. I was really impressed. I didn't really know how that was going to work from the back. I was like, from the back. How do you get to it from the back? Must be from the inside.
All right. Well, you can write it in and tell us what you think it is. Please don't include images.
No images. No drawings.
No images.
Yeah. Don't link. I won't click any links.
You can link, but just don't attach files to the email of dimcarnival@gmail.com. But
it's not very sex positive of us.
But what we're not confused by is that it's finally time to get to the Wizard's Palace, guys.
Oh my gosh, we made it.
Made it to the palace. So they get to the Wizard's Palace, and this song starts, and it drops the fucking raddest music.
There it is, is, y'all. Take a look at that palace. Hey, fountains of Alizé. It be amazing, devastating, out of control. Wizard logo on a gold flagpole. Let's roll front door. Ring the bells, we here. Free beer, we there. I'm so glad to be there. We could tell they be smoking on something, Sonic. I smelt it in the hallways. I'm always...
Holy shit, man. The music on this is so good.
Yeah, you thought the Gangster Fun Band was cool. Bullshit. This is the shit right here. It's amazing. They finally see the palace. Hey, fountains of Alizé. And they knock on the door. They smell weed everywhere. And they say they could tell they'd be smoking on something, Sonic. They smell in the hallways. They're always on it. They ask the guard what that is, and the guard says, "It's Hizzard the Wizard."
Yeah, it's ABK. What's up?
Yeah, but they don't know it right away. Well, he don't share like a big nerd. And then he's like, "Just stick to the hallway, okay? Go away." And then he says, "I know what you were all thinking. Is that ABK?" Yeah. And so they get to the Gizzard's gates. They get to the Wizard's gates. They knock and they walk in and let the party begin. And they get a scary voice say, "Who dare come here to meet the big W?" God, like this shit, this fucking verse is so goddamn incredible because it's Shaggy on a voice box. And it keeps cutting out, and like finally realizes that it's cutting out. And he has maybe my favorite Shaggy delivery of all time. He says, "Damn it, must be a faulty wire. Well, fuck, my voice thing went out again, but you're still in terrible danger, my friend."
That's so great.
Then
so great.
Tin Man ran and disbanded the curtain. It was just some fool in a fuck off shirt. And then
incredible.
Shaggy introduces himself as Shaggy Stretch Nuts, be the real name. Yeah. Man, it's so good. But and then he's the guy who holds the magic blunt.
Right. That's about to send Jay somewhere else. Yeah, man, I wrote, "Oh, this one is live!" ! I was incredibly energized when this song came on.
This,
Real
to
payoff.
me, this era, this crew, like this core Psychopathic Records crew, because this is what I think of. Like, this is the Dark Lotus crew, from the best era of ICP, I feel, or at least the pinnacle of ICP. And just like, to me, this song is 2 minutes 51 seconds long. It is perfect. Like, you could not want anything more from these six guys. This is just it. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
These guys and Mike P's track. Like, that's it.
Considering how much happens in this song, like that they get all the way to the palace, meeting him, have all of that experience, and then he gets to go through giving them all of their rewards or whatever, and then Violent J leaves, like they get all that done in 2:59. It's like, it's a very crisp, like well put together song to get through all of that content.
Yeah. It's, like I said, it's perfect. You couldn't want anything more.
Yeah, man. So, okay, here's the thing. Tin Man, he wanted a gun. He gets nothing. He gets told,
your wish is for iron. Your wish is for iron when you made out of steel, but you already the hardest for real.
Thanks.
So, yeah. So, thanks. Because Jamie wants a gun because he wants to be hard.
Yeah.
It's already hard.
I understand what the lesson is. He got nothing.
Right.
Also, big old goose egg.
I just love I'm puffing, but I ain't seeing nothing.
So he's the hardest around, but let me tell you this. The lion is now the most dangerous motherfucker because he basically gives him vampire powers, like the ability to seduce anybody that he wants. He's already terrifying.
Right.
So I think the lion is the one who really made out on this.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's interesting that he has Scarecrow homies to smoke with and then immediately sends one of his homies away.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love Tizzy the Lion and Jay, though. But I guess, the wizard might take Jay's place. It's like now he's gonna smoke
It's
with them.
possible. Yeah, there seems to be other people right in this palace. But Violet J is very welcoming of it. I mean, I guess he does want to leave the whole time. So it's like, oh yeah, okay, I guess it's time for me to go. I'm out, y'all.
And the next thing you know is he woke up in his very own bed chilling. And that's exactly how it went down.
Do you like it?
That's it. So final thoughts, or should we talk about the 2 bonus tracks?
Well, I did want to say this may be my favorite like ICP or Psychopathic Records album just out of everything. I mean,
wow.
Because and there's a lot of reasons why. When I started listening to this album, I had barely started smoking weed as well. And so like I was super into just like, oh, everything about weed super cool. You know, that lame phase a lot of people go through when they first start smoking pot. So
no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
But I mean, just in theory, you've heard that happens to people. And so I was like super obsessed with this because of that. Also, I love The Wizard of Oz, and because of the great like story that is being conveyed through The Wizard of Oz. I've read some bad things about Frank L. Baum not too long ago, which really disappointed me. Like apparently, if I'm not mistaken, he was like a huge racist, which is not surprising, and that really sucks because he was also a Theosophist and a Freemason. And there's a lot of occult imagery in The Wizard of Oz. And I think I may have talked about this some when we covered Wizard in the Hood back on Carnival of Carnage. So I'm not going to like delve too much into it. But, like the imagery of the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Lion are all like stages of evolution for humanity. And there's just, and it gets more deep than that, and to make that into a children's story, and it's about personal growth, and it's really brilliant. And I've read the book a ton of times, and at this time, I also discovered this stupid, listening to Pink Floyd and watching the first 48 minutes, synced up with the Wizard of Oz movie. So like, I just had all this like, pot, Wizard of Oz, stuff, occult stuff, all going on at the same time. And I would just listen to this album. I would sit down, put it on, start rolling a blunt, and be finished with it by halfway through the album, smoke it. It just was like the best for me. I loved it so much. So I just wanted to throw that out there, why I love this album so much.
Nice. Well, it's also just very good.
And it is, but it's also an amazing album, though. Yes, absolutely. So
let's talk about the 2 bonus tracks.
Well, which 2 did you listen to? Because there's 4.
Axis Swinging and Multiple Myselves.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, those are the ones that are on Spotify.
Yeah, those are the ones, and those were the ones that were on the original release, which I have.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, I don't know what these other ones are.
Yeah, me neither.
Some Rolling Papers bullshit.
Right, I don't listen to those.
Yeah. So Axis Swinging, I don't really have many thoughts about, other than he uses some ableist language in here, and I don't really care about this song at all. Like, it's just sort of nothing to me. It's like, just you could listen to much better versions of this song on any ICP release.
Yeah, it seems just like an extra, like a bonus track.
Yeah,
interesting.
He does mention Picker Forest, which I don't think we've talked about Picker Forest yet, right?
No.
I think I learned about Picker Forest
is.
because of the Gathering of the Juggalos. Oh, okay. Do you know what Picker Forest is, Bill?
Is it the Forest of Gathering of the Juggalos?
Oh, you know what? He talks about Picker Forest on his audiobook. That's where I heard about it. So it was it's a place. I don't think it's the real name, but it's like a backwoods out behind where him and his family grew up, and him and Rob used to go out there and do their like wizard shit. Like that was their shire or whatever, like whatever scene, that they thought that it was like magic and there was treasure out there and adventure. And so I think that's the first line of the track, is that ever since Picker Forest, he's been like kind of had this way of thinking about the world. So I thought that was kind of cool. I thought the beat was all right. I don't actually remember what it sounds like right now, but that's what I wrote, dope beat. And he also mentioned, Bill, so long ago, one of the early episodes, you talked about whether or not we should try to link the ICP mythology back to the Dark Tower series. But he actually mentioned Salem's Lot in this track.
True. But yeah, I don't really have any further thoughts on the track. But
I don't think it's fair for either one of these two songs to follow Wizard in the Hood. I mean, it's kind of not fair for these songs.
I just felt like the album came in under half an hour, and Violent J was like, I can't be under half an hour.
Yeah. I mean, because this song, it's not a bad song, and it's, I don't necessarily skip it. I've had it in rotations and playlists and taken out of the context of this album and put on just a playlist. It actually flows pretty well, and I can appreciate the song a lot better. But if I'm listening to Wizard in the Hood, it just stops there at the end of
Well, I do prefer Multiple Myselves, which is the final track.
Same.
And it's a track that, Jay would revisit this concept many times. Most recently on Fearless Fred Fury, there's a multiple personality track that's really good. But this one's decent. I think that it's a fun concept, and it gives Jay a chance to do a bunch of different voices, which I'm sure we always appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. I like the music a lot on this track, and it ultimately made me feel like it was like an old video game, kind of sound, which is something I was gonna like.
Yeah.
I liked all the different, like you said, the different voices, the different personalities. He's got Fred, is like the smart guy, and Butch is his angry side.
Well, what's funny about Fred is that he once wrote a book. but like he can't even front because Violent J dropped out in the 9th grade, so like you don't even use me, like what's happening? I like Butch is Jay's anger.
Leave the beat downs to Billy Bill.
Right, take some NyQuils.
It's funny that he says take some NyQuils when he just had a whole song, a whole concept album about smoking weed.
Just when this song was recorded, though.
Yeah.
One
of the things that I like about this song is it reminds me of, just in tone, or the nature of it being like Jacob's Word, which of course you guys know how much I love. So that made me appreciate this song a little bit more than I probably would have had I not loved Jacob's Word so much.
Yeah, I really feel the same way. I feel like hearing this on its own, it just wouldn't have been as much, and it made me appreciate Jacob's Word and want to listen to Jacob's Word, but still also enjoy this track. So I thought it was interesting that it kind of treads a similar ground, but it didn't really make it seem like it was like a carbon copy of it or whatever.
No, they're very uniquely different, but they're uniquely different and but have part of the same concept going on, and it's pretty awesome to be able to do that, to write songs like that.
Yeah. All right, well, final thoughts on the album overall.
Love it.
Oh my god, man, we've had a really good run of records.
We have.
These last few weeks.
Let's hope it continues. Because we're in uncharted waters now, gentlemen. All right. Well, I loved it as well. We all loved it. So good times were had by all. Gonna listen to The Wizard's Palace like 90 more times for the rest of my life for sure. And next week we're talking about Dark Lotus's second album, Black Rain, which I think I may have listened to once. I don't remember a single thing about, so I'm interested in seeing how that turns out for us. So we're Black Rain, and then we're going to jump right ahead to Hell's Pit after that, if you wanted to listen ahead. So next week, Black Rain. Excited about it. Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at dimcarnival. Email us dimcarnival@gmail.com. And until next week, I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And my thing is singing. Fucking singing.